Here's my theory regarding Kuma versus Saturn. Kuma's body was already damaged, mainly due to Akaino's attack. When Luffy was still tired from using Gear 5 and Franky and Sanji couldn't move and Bonnie was desperate, Kuma came to attack Saturn. Can Kuma face Jay Garcia's Saturn? This is my theory. The problem is that Kuma's body is already injured. Kuma's current body condition is actually not good because of his actions at Mary Joyce. He had suffered severe damage, especially from Akaino's attacks. With this situation, I doubt Kuma can last long if he has to face Saturn in a duel, especially if Saturn is assisted by the Navy. Number 2, is Kuma equipped with a self-detonation feature? In chapter 1102, Saturn asked Vegapunk to give Kuma a self-detonation switch. When Saturn ordered Vegapunk to erase Kuma's personality, he also warned Vegapunk that he was also a scientist. Vegapunk couldn't trick him. So this means that it is very likely that Vegapunk actually gave Kuma the self-detonate button. At issue, does Saturn have control over that feature too? If so, it's not impossible that when Kuma was about to attack him, Saturn would activate that function. Although another possibility is, Kuma will try to blow himself up with Saturn. If that possibility happens, it would be appropriate karma for Saturn. Why? Because Saturn ordered the button to be given to Kuma. If Saturn's paranoia actually makes Kuma use this feature to blow himself up together, then Saturn will really hit the rocks. There's one problem. Saturn seems to be a mythical Zoan, and mythical Zoans are usually incredibly tough. The same with Kaido and Luffy. So even if Kuma blew himself up, there's a chance that Saturn would survive. Number 3. Kuma has no personality and no memory. It's clear now that Kuma actually acts without memory and personality. There was something that still made Kuma move until he came to Egghead to attack Saturn. Most likely because of his extraordinary affection for his foster child, namely Bonnie. But we can assume that Kuma's main personality has been completely erased, and now he fights either by instinct or by program. In a situation like that, with Kuma's condition already damaged, Saturn might find a way to defeat Kuma. If a creature that fought purely by instinct faced a powerful creature capable of clever thinking, then the smarter one would usually win. Kuma's condition does not allow him to defeat Saturn, but he can at least buy time. Kuma currently seems to act driven by instinct or program. He was also already injured, mainly due to Akaino's powerful attack on Mary Joyce. I suspect that the self-detonation feature that Vegapunk gave Kuma could also be activated by Saturn if Kuma could urge it. With this situation, it is difficult for Kuma to win against Saturn. Even if Kuma makes the sacrifice of blowing himself up with Saturn, I'm pessimistic that it will be able to end Saturn. Since Saturn is a mythical Zoan, he should be very tough. He and the other Gorosei even took Sabo's attacks without any problems. But Kuma doesn't have to win. All Kuma needed to do now was buy time until Luffy finished eating and his energy returned. If Kuma can at least attack Saturn until Luffy eats his food, then he has contributed in this situation. If Kuma could somehow motivate Bonnie, Bonnie's powers might also return. Previously, after he saw Kuma's memory, Bonnie's strength weakened. So Kuma may not be able to beat Saturn, but he can give Bonnie and Luffy a chance to win. In chapter 1102, Kuma said to himself that the proof he had lived in this world had been secretly left behind by Bonnie and Luffy. So that's my theory about whether Kuma can face Jay Garcia's Saturn in One Piece. What do you think? Tell us in the comments column.